Hey there! On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about 5 reasons to be excited for the new miniatures game, Marvel Crisis Protocol by Atomic Mass Games. My name is Nate, and welcome to the Gamers Guild. The first reason I'm really excited for this game is the team that's behind the development of it. Will Schick, Dallas Kemp, Will Pagani are all amazing people who have been in the miniatures industry for quite some time now. Especially, they're all well known for their time at Privateer Press working on games like War Machine and Hordes. That being said, that's not the only reason I'm excited about the team behind it. While I was at Gen Con, I had the pleasure of talking to several of these guys, and one thing that really stuck out to me is how well they know and love the lore of Marvel, the comics, the movies, all of the above. I started talking to them about my personal favorite superhero, Agent Venom, and asked if he'd be able to be used in the same list as just the Eddie Brock Venom because the Venom symbiote. And instantly, Will Schick was talking about, well, no, that'd be fine because it's the Flash Thompson alias versus the Eddie Brock alias, and with Venomverse, there's so many different Venom suits, and it just made me so excited because, one, they know about my favorite character, and he could be on the drawing board. But also just, they love this stuff. They truly are invested in it, which is what a game like this needs. And then the final reason I'm really excited about the team behind this is the community outreach that they've already started doing. Poor Pagani, I kind of feel bad for him, is already basically have memes around him having to comment, no further comment on upcoming releases or future releases. At the same time, he's taken in stride answering my personal questions along with so many other people's about the game and what's coming out and what's to be excited about it. Then obviously Dallas is a fantastic ambassador for really the hobby as a whole with painting and everything else. So I'm extremely excited to see what this team is able to do with the game. The second reason I'm really excited for the game is the IP itself. It's Marvel. Not only am I just like a nerd who enjoys this kind of stuff, but I think what the IP is able to bring to the game is going to be fantastic. From being able to recreate these awesome movie or comic book moments, we already have a special team tactic card that is Iron Man blasting off of Captain America's shield to ricochet the shot into an enemy. And I can only imagine, like, once we get the X-Men, we'll have the fastball special with Colossus throwing Wolverine at a bad guy, and just all the cards to come are going to be fantastic. Along with that, though, the IP is something that's very easily recognizable. You could go to your local game store or hobby shop, and just, if you have Hulk and Iron Man on a table, you're going to have people who may not be interested in the hobby as a whole, who are like, man, that looks really cool, what do I need to start playing this game? And as such, I think it's going to be a great gateway game into the hobby. And speaking of the hobby aspects is actually my third reason I'm really excited for this game. So one, I mentioned it's kind of going to be probably a fantastic gateway game, not just because it's Marvel and it's really a well-known IP right now, but also because the investment is rather small. At least the time investment. You only have to have 10 models. While Star Wars Legion and a couple other games out there are still fantastic for maybe that gateway game, you still have to have so many more models to bring to the table, and the games probably take quite a bit longer. Or in the average game, you're maybe activating 5 to 6 models, it's going to go a lot quicker, which is why I think the industry as a whole has been moving toward skirmish-based games. Along with that, the other hobby aspects that really excite me are the painting of the miniatures. And this kind of sounds silly, but you can paint them however you want. And while we know that, like, you can do that with your Space Marines and whatever else, I'm just so excited to see the alternate costumes we see popping up. We know that Iron Man has over like 5,000 suits at this point, so who knows what crazy combinations of things we're going to see with him. But also we might have people painting Hulk as gray or red, green, just the gauntlet of colors that people are going to be able to do. Not to mention like the Hydra Avengers that I've seen people getting excited to paint their Avengers as evil. The final hobby aspect that I'm really excited about is the terrain building. At first, my mind was always thinking, cool, we're going to be playing in New York, we'll have buildings and benches and trees and cars and all those kind of fun things to throw around. And then my mind kind of got opened up as soon as I saw on Facebook somebody posted a picture of their PIM particle board, or their PIM particle accident board, where basically the board was a motherboard chip, and they had resistors and other electronical components as the terrain. And that just kind of opened my eyes to think, okay, cool, maybe we can have games taking place in the Savage Lands, and then we can have one happening on the Helicarrier, and then you could take the Guardians into space and all sorts of other planets and environments. I think it's going to be nearly endless, and I'm so excited to see what people bring to the table creatively and how they build their own. The fourth reason I'm really excited for the game is the rules themselves. The fact that AMG was already confident enough to release them to the public during the same week of the announcement of the game is fantastic. One, it's free rules, so anybody interested in the game can kind of know what they're getting into, and that's usually something that has held me back on different games. So that in its own is fantastic, but the rules are also really easy to get through. Now, that's not necessarily saying that the game itself is going to play very simply. There's so many different choices, from the creation of your team and the objectives that you want to possibly be able to play, to deciding who's going to try to take some more damage so that they can get involved in the game more. But after my proxy game, the rules themselves were very easy to get into. This is good because, again, it's going to be a gateway game for a lot of people, and so it's going to be easy for them to get in on the ground floor. The few questions I did have during my proxy game, we were able to go to the rulebook and find within a couple of seconds each time, which is, again, just fantastic. The other reasons I'm really excited for the rules is the competitive scene. And you can take this one of two ways. On one side, you have Will and Dallas, who are really excited for this to not necessarily be a big meta game with huge competitive scenes where all the store local events, all the prize support is for everybody. You play 3 rounds of Swiss, and there's not like any first place trophy or anything. The idea is for people to just get out there and have fun, which I love the idea of. On the other hand, for anybody who is looking to min-max and all that kind of stuff, there's just so many different possibilities, both in what the missions can be when you bring your team to the table, having to calculate your points just right, making sure you have affiliation options. It's going to be just downright fantastic. The fifth reason I'm really excited for the game is the possibilities, because they kind of seem endless. The Marvel IP is, at this point, gargantuan. You have everything to pull from: the Netflix TV shows, the movies, the comics, the animated TV shows. It just seems limitless. So that being said, there's a good chance that your favorite hero or villain might actually get represented in a model, which is, again, really exciting. Agent Venom, cough cough for anybody at AMG listening. But also, the comic book moments that we're going to be able to recreate, the terrain that people are going to be building. Really, the thing that excites me the most is the imagination of all these different people who are going to be getting into the game. And then my last bit that really excites me is hopefully the people that are going to be brought into this hobby. And I know so many people might even be watching this video and think, man, I don't want to paint, or I'm not good enough to try to paint these. It's not going to look like what it looks like on the box. I'm going to put up a picture of the first model I ever painted, and then kind of a progression of some of the other models I've painted. While I am still by no means nearly as talented as many others who are out there, Dallas and others who put out actual how to paint videos, but just over time, keep in mind, you're not going to start out great, and that's okay. Part of the process and part of the fun is learning how to get better at these things, not just the game itself, but painting and creating terrain and all of these different aspects. So all that to say, I'm just extremely excited for this game. So those are my 5 reasons that I'm extremely excited for the Marvel Crisis Protocol game. If you have another reason that I didn't mention, please leave it down in the comments or message me, because I'm just excited to get hyped for this game along with everybody else. If this is your first time on the channel, please consider hitting that like button for me. Again, not really sure what it does for YouTube, but it makes me feel warm and fuzzy on the inside. As well, if you have enjoyed this video and content, or like the game and just want to know more about it, please hit that subscribe button. It'll continue to send you videos as they come out about this and other miniature games that are happening. And until next time, guys, remember, keep on gaming.